in the modern day, it just feels as if you can't disagree with someone, because if you do on one point, on one aspect of something oddly specific or anything for that matter, they start to hate your entire being, or dislike you, period. Like, you say one take on something, one little take on something else, and that, how you feel about that entire take of theirs is just how you feel about them in general. And I think that is the dumbest thing ever. Now you might be asking, like, how does that apply to any level of self-improvement? It's because, well, sometimes you listen to, for example, some of the controversial people online, right? And you hear some of their takes, and you might disagree with them, or you might hate them, or you might have like this emotional spike from whatever it is that they're saying. But you need to almost, instead of instantly reacting, because that's what we tend to do as people, we see something and we instantly react. We need to observe what it is that we felt within ourselves in the very moment that they said what it is that they said, and we need to reflect on it immediately after. Because if you're very reactive in nature, that's not going to serve you very well. First of all, if you're in a conversation or anything like that, no one's going to think you're chill to talk to or open-minded whatsoever, because you're just, you overreact over everything. And then secondly, sometimes some of the things that you hate hearing from other people, or some controversial thing, sometimes ends up being some of the most valuable information, because it's something that you need to hear and not what you want to hear. So keep that in mind. So for example, you already know who I'm going to say when it comes to a controversial figure, right? Andrew Tate, right? Now, some people use what he says as a way to completely and utterly hate and shit on his character, which is ridiculous. But then some will also be on the other extreme of it, and literally anything he says is, oh, okay, I love this guy, he's amazing. But then anything that comes after that is also just, they're just dick riding him. It's that simple. It's like way too extreme. Like, and what that prevents is one aspect. If you disagree to like the craziest degree just because, they said one thing and now you hate them, it's like you can't learn anything else from. You're telling me not a single take they had you could take something away from or learn something from? Bullshit. You know that, I know that. And then let's take the other side of the spectrum where you completely and utterly agree. It's like you're not your own goddamn person if you do that, okay? You're just, I don't know, you can't think for yourself. You can't critically disagree. Like, for example, I'll use myself as an example. Some of the things that Tate has said, I absolutely agree with, but then there's others that part of his maybe character, or maybe things he does, actions he takes, things he says that I don't necessarily agree with. Now, we could get into a whole spiel about what I do, what I don't, right? But that's aside the point right now. I don't want to use too many examples. Like, for example, like some of the things he says about the way men should carry themselves, okay, I can agree with that. And that's overgeneralizing it. So, I need a specific statement, and I can't really recall one. But something that I would disagree with is, for example, the way he maybe profits, like casinos and things along that nature, or anything like that, right? So just trying to find that balance, or not even that balance just because you need to, but trying to understand and critically think about the information that is going into your brain, and the takes, the how do I say this, the arguments that are at play, regardless of who's giving them. I don't care if you dislike who's giving them or absolutely love them. Still take the time to critically think about the information that you're getting, right? And be like, okay, I can see why he does that or likes this, or I can't see why he likes this or does this, or whatever it is. You could still learn from it. And even if you wholeheartedly disagree, which is completely fine, you could disagree with the statement while still not necessarily hating the individual or completely shitting on them or completely dick riding them. Like, you don't have to do any of that. You have to see where they're the things that they say can stand kind of on their own, if that makes sense, right? Because how do I say this? Not everything they say is going to be something you agree with or disagree with. And you might say, well, I actually don't know where I was going with that. I was going into a completely different point, so I stopped myself. I'm glad I did. But yeah, take the time to really think about the kind of information you're getting from someone, and especially, and I mean this especially, if you're on either extremes of this conversation, right? You either really, really dislike them or really, really like them. See the kind of like emotion you're feeling when they talk about what they do, and then try to decipher where and how you stand within what they said, right? Don't just be like, oh, I don't like this take, I hate this dude. Oh, I really like this take, like anything else he says, like amazing, he's awesome, he's fabulous. Like, what the fuck is that shit, bro? Like, use your brain, come on. So that's pretty much all I had. Peace. Take it easy.